Welcome to our channel! This week we're going to show you how to make this game inspired by Gato Rainbow and Gata Moon. Today we make a tic-tac-toe game with El Gato Rainbow and La Gata Moon. Here's what you'll need: air dry clay, a little bit of water, a rolling pin, aluminum foil or molds, but this is optional, some tools, also optional, acrylic paint, a paintbrush, and a glossy sealer. Let's open the clay. Here's what it looks like. You're gonna need to knead it for a bit to make it easier to shape. If it feels too hard, you can use a little water to soften it. This was actually my first time working with clay, and even though I was a bit nervous at first, it turned out to be easier than I thought. Plan it like this and roll it out so the surface is nice and smooth. Now grab something circular to cut out a perfect circle. This will be the base of our game. Trim off the extra clay and subscribe to our channel, of course! Your support helps us creating new videos. Now we're going to make the border for the board. Roll out a clay snake like this, and before placing it, dampen the edge of the circle and make marks all around. That will help the border stick better and stay in place. By the way, we've got tons of downloadable resources on our website. Don't miss out! Now place the border on top like this and trim the excess so it fits perfectly. Done! Where the edge meets the base, we're going to press down and make these little marks to help everything fuse together. Smooth it all out with a bit of water, and now it's rock solid. Let's get working on the board. Take another piece of clay and roll it out again. I use this rolling pin with guides so everything is the same height. It's not necessary, but since I had it, I used it. Now I'm using a ruler to make straight lines, cutting out several strips like this. Perfect. Next we'll mark where we want the strips to go on the base and place them right on top. To make them stick, I made a paste with clay and lots of water. It works like glue. Then I just placed each strip gently to make sure they stay put. Repeat the process with the other line and attach anything that's missing. Before letting it dry, smooth out the entire board with a damp finger to make it as even as possible. This takes a couple of days to dry, so while we wait, let's make the game pieces. I wanted to make Gato Rainbow and Gata Moon molds out of foil, but it didn't work out. I wasn't happy with how they looked, so I decided to make rainbows for Gato Rainbow and moons for Gata Moon instead. For the rainbows, I wrote out really thin clay ropes and combined 3 for each one. If you make them like I did, I recommend pressing the strips together with water so they don't come apart. Now let's make the moons. Roll out a bit more clay, use a bottle cup to cut out a circle, and then cut out a section like this to shape a moon. Refine the shape a bit so it looks nicer. And smooth out all the pieces with a little water. Everything's finally dry. To make it look all a little bit better, I sanded everything down with a fine grit sandpaper. Careful so nothing breaks. Now it's time for the best part, at least for me, which is painting. I'm using acrylic markers for the moons, and I just covered the whole moon with purple and then outlined it with a slightly darker shade. Since the rainbows were a bit more fragile, I didn't want to press too hard with the markers, so I painted them with a brush instead. Perfect! Once dry, it's time to seal everything with varnish. Just add a bit on top of each piece and spread it with a brush. Now let's paint the base too. Use acrylic paint, and once it's dry, seal it as well. You can add 1 or 2 coats, or even use resin if you prefer. Make sure to cover all the little gaps, and your tic-tac-toe game is done! We really love how it turned out. Of course, it's not perfect, but for my first time working with clay, I'm super happy with the results. What do you think? Have you ever used this kind of clay? Let us know in the comments. We also made this version of a tic-tac-toe a while back. Have you seen that video? If not, the link is in the description. We hope you enjoyed today's video. See you next week on the channel. Bye!